Criken, did you hear?
What did I hear? I mean, yes.
E3. E3 is canceled.
What?
Yeah. Good job. That's a good reaction. You've been working on that
I've
all
been working
day.
on that, yeah.
All day. It's gone, guys.
I've gotten better at my YouTube reactions.
Video games are done.
We gotta, like, purse to live.
Video games are done.
Oh, that's my Pog face. I'm very good at Pog.
They're not done. Now it's just...
Digital
so,
only.
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, yeah, we're all...
It was already heading that way.
There's a pandemic, so everybody's got to go digital. I don't know. It's like, what's going to happen? And I guarantee you what's already happening is that a million promotional companies, IGN, Jeff Keighley, they are salivating because now there's a big gap in the middle of the year for a promotional event, and everyone wants that sick money because now there's a bunch of promotional budget that was going to be spent on E3 that's now just up in the air.
So do you think they're going to make their own event?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Dude. There's going to be let's start a pool. I'm gonna say at least four digital only all promo events that all purport to be the replacement for E3 this year.
I don't think they're going to be a replacement of E3. They're just going to be their digital event for each company. It's like the directs.
There's going to be the IGN will do.
There's
one.
like an aggregator.
And they'll go around and try to
Lawrence
get everyone
saying.
to buy into them. Yeah, because that's what Jeff.
I mean,
Keighley
that is the Game Awards.
Yep.
So it's just there was going to be more Game Award pop-ups.
But nobody wants to travel. So I guess they're going to Discord everybody in, basically.
Probably.
It's going to be a big podcast.
They're going to have a representative.
Right.
They'll have a digital event they'll have an image with like all these game logos on it, the IGN Spectacular or whatever, and they'll fly out one person.
IG Next.
Oh, fuck, Bruce, you're doing it, man. They'll fly one person out and they'll walk on stage and be like, "Hello, we have a new gameplay video for you."
Yeah, no, you're right.
And then they'll roll it, and then they'll have the next person walk out, and it'll be a very templated, very boring gaming promo show where IGN gets to cash a lot of checks from people they convince that they have more reach than they do.
Man, you're right about this.
I can't wait.
You're right about this.
I'm
not looking forward to that at all.
I only know because Cyber
I like
Scoops.
the Game Awards.
I like the Game Awards.
I do too, but it's not. That Game Awards are different. They're awards.
I mean, they were awards.
What? They're not awards anymore?
I mean, they technically still are, but the awards are getting pushed further and further out of the show. They only gave like half the awards during the actual show last year. The rest were Magic the Gathering ads, and I mean, and trailers for
not wrong.
Trailers for games that haven't come out yet. It's more of a promo show than an award show now, which
it is.
That's fine.
Yeah.
In the wake of E3, we kind of need something like that. But yeah, dude, it's the world's changing.
Criken, have you ever thought about starting doing Criken Next? Criken Next?
Well, there's never been a Criken to begin with, so Criken Next would be a little
is going to be
premature, I think.
The replacement for E3. Twitch.tv/Criken. First day of E3.
Well,
How many video game developers do you have?
We used to do video game riffs on E3 all the time. That was a lot of fun. We would get really drunk. Even before like the Just Chatting Reacts thing.
Criken.
Perfect.
That does sound pretty great, actually. Maybe I'll hit up my advertisers and see if we can get something together.
My advertisers?
Yeah, they're all. I mean, they only exclusively advertise to me.
I can see it right now. A black XL T-shirt with Criken on it in Comic Sans.
Oh, yeah.
Is it spelled? What is it? CRIKON or CRICON?
CON. I think the best part is we won't be consistent with our messaging. So half the shirts will have one, the other half will have the other, and then.
Well, you'll still be more consistent than the ESA.
Ooh, burning up E3 even though they already canceled it.
Dead. Kick that horse.
Damn, Lawrence.
And the back can say like, "I was witness to the best convention of all time." Remember those shirts from the Xbox thing? Were you guys there for that?
Which one was that?
It was the reveal of the Xbox One.
I think it was the one. Yeah.
With the Xbox One console reveal.
There was a shirt that said "I was there for the best reveal."
Everyone
of all
that was
time.
in the audience received a shirt that said,
"What a bunch of shills."
I am there. I was there when the most powerful console was announced. Like a ridiculously long and verbose like thing to put on a shirt. Who's gonna read that? Is just so self-serving and disgusting.
I have a cup actually right now in my it's an Xbox cup and it says "I stole this from the Xbox space" or whatever. And I was always like, man, Xbox isn't normally clever, but this was clever.
X cup.
Clever, as in I kind of, sort of is. So Xbox is the only one I feel like is at a detriment because E3 is canceled. Because Microsoft generally comes out, does their big old...
The rest have been slowly pulling out.
Dog and pony show, right, yeah. Sony's been gone for years at this point. So Microsoft, I feel like, is the only one that's going to miss out on this.
Yeah, it's actually really tricky because, like, E3's been on the decline for several years, and now...
It has.
With a cancel, like, they've given a good excuse for a lot of people to just not, come back when it's ready.
Well, the play that the ESA is probably going to do is they're going to do a digital-only event. Try to sign up all their partners again so that they can keep that heartbeat active. So hopefully, if they go digital-only, that they can keep the E3 branding, keep the E3 time. But still, just like what they won't have and what a lot of people depend on is everybody physically being in LA so that they can actually invite them in and do a lot of very easy promo. So yeah, it's probably going to be a lot of digital-only events. I mean, to that extent, Microsoft, like Sony has State of Play, Microsoft has Inside Xbox, Nintendo has Directs. They kind of all have a pipeline for doing that kind of thing. It's just, it's weird. There's not going to be any more like... Because I think the cumulative press cycle was probably beneficial, especially to a lot of like mid-tier developers. They got some amount of visibility by being next to
large
trucks. Yeah,
love you, truck.
Let's see those emotes.
Love you, truck. Miss you, truck.
So what I imagine happening is that E3 will still happen. It'll just be a less and less relevant digital event, and then 18 other competitors will come out with their digital events. Each one will. What's probably going to happen is a lot of bluster about this is the newest, biggest gaming event, and then it'll have like the biggest announcement will be like DLC for Far Cry, because that's the only exclusive they could lock down.
Well, so I'm just kind of confused what the ESA, because I feel like they just kind of give a platform for everyone to do their thing. I can't imagine. I don't think even the majority of people that follow E3 know
they don't know what the ESA
even is. So like. If the ESA is like, we're doing ESA cast, and it's like,
they're not. No one's gonna give a shit.
So then, how are they gonna claim back their, E4? Yeah, they call it the E4. And
well, they already did that E4 All. If you remember,
that's
E4
true, yeah.
All.
I don't remember that.
That was a fucking failure.
Yeah.
But it was basically like they did an E3, but they allowed anybody to come. So like you could buy tickets to go.
I remember going that year.
And I actually don't think I even went that year.
I did.
But people could buy tickets, and I heard it sucked. I don't know. Were you there for that one?
I was not. No,
a lot of crowds.
I didn't go to E3 for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because people they were saying for years that E3 was dying, and now this isn't the nail in the coffin, right? They're going to do it next year to be like, we're back.
I mean, I think it is. You think
E3 is never coming back?
No, they'll come.
The branding will be there, but the show will never come back. Yeah. I don't think.
Not to the state that it was in the last 4 years.
Maybe Gamescom is new E3.
Well, it has been for, I think, the majority of the world, to be honest.
It's always been bigger than E3.
Yeah, it's just that it doesn't get the same coverage.
I just think in terms of media pop, maybe that's when everybody paces out their announcements. The problem was like a lot of, and this goes so much deeper than like E3 was dying and everything's normal. Like there was a rhythm that developers fell into where you have your demo or your PR hit ready for E3, and then you hit in holiday. Like that was a pretty comfy rhythm and actually pretty attainable. Is to have something to show in June, launch in October, November, and like that timing is still there, and it's still like a lot of developers still are making games around that time cycle. So I do think that we'll still see something in May and June. It's just now it's Jesus Christ, everything's thrown up in the air about which money bro is going to make the best deck to convince somebody to unveil at their event. God, to be a fly on the wall, to see all those dudes talking with such authority.
Yes, those conviction. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be. I mean, at this point, E3 is. I think next year they're going to come back and it's going to be, whatever, bigger than ever. And then I think after that is like we see that's it, the steady decline of E3. I think because they at least next year they have a story, right? They're like, we had to cancel last year, but this year
from the ashes.
And they're going to go to all the company, Microsoft, and Sony's going to come back. Sony's going to come back.
Yeah.
You think?
They're probably going to pay fucking Sony to come back.
He doesn't pay anyone though.
Well, they're going to have to.
They're shitty about that.
They're in a position now where if they don't,
they're on their back foot.
If they don't struggle, or I'm sorry, if they don't actually incentivize people, then they're not coming back.
And the ESA hasn't been humbled in a long time. And they've had plenty of instances where they should have been.
You're right about that.
So I think that they will dig in their heels and try to... Because they were already trying to do that revamp of E3 for this year, making it more open to the public and more like a consumer event.
E4.
Yeah.
2.
E8.
Wow, E squared.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the 3 was already kind of up.
That'd be E9?
I mean, it was the electronic area. Yeah, it was already E squared.
It was already
right.
Wait, is that squared or cubed?
That's cubed,
sorry.
yeah. That's cubed.
They could call it E cubed.
Ugh.
That's just but that's what it was before, anyways.
You can do a subtext, you know?
Oh, there. Ooh, a lower 3.
The third? E. What does that imply?
That's math.
That is math.
There's a name
base
for
3?
it. I think that's what it is.
Ooh.
Base 3.
Base 3 is
the base of E.
Nothing uses base.
Back to
3.
bases.
Oh, almost.
All right. Almost got it. Hire me, EA. No, EA.
ESA.
ESA.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
You
don't
don't even know
remember
the
your
name of it.
No, but I can help me remember your name if you hire me.
Oh, E3X. That's a good one.
Perfect.
E3 Extreme.
I guess the big question now is, will you guys miss a physical event?
No.
No, not at all. You don't like walking around the floor.
Oh no. Sorry, I didn't let you
announcements?
finish, and I totally jumped in.
No.
Please, I was just being a Debbie Downer, and you didn't deserve that, Lawrence.
Oh, that's okay.
Go ahead.
Hey, I was trying to stimulate conversation, and you talked, and that's mission accomplished. Good job. I guess. Do you think if we go to digital only events, and also various companies just announcing things on their own timelines as opposed to all accumulated in like 1 week?
Yeah.
Will you guys like that more of like spreading out media announcements over the year, or do you enjoy everything being crammed into one super media week?
That is a good question. I wish I'd let you finish it the first time. It would have been a lot more thoughtful response than no.
I can give you an answer for that one because as a content creator on Twitch, it's good for me if they spread it out because then every week I've got a new event or whatever to talk about. Oh my gosh, Half-Life. Oh my gosh, Microsoft. Oh my gosh, Xbox One Series X. Oh my god, whatever. I think that's good for me, but I don't know about everybody else. I don't know what the audience thinks because I'm curious to see what the chats think. Lawrence in my chat. Do you guys want it all spread out? Type in spread out. Don't stop it. Type in spread out or all at once. Or maybe at once. How about just once? Type in spread out or once. Don't say spread me out, chat.
Don't.
That's wrong.
Oh, that's extra wrong. Spread me, daddy. Not good. No.
Come on.
No. So that's pretty good.
People want spread out, by the way.
Yeah, of course. So. I mean, I think that's better for us. The thing that no one cares about and really shouldn't have to care about is that once you do spread it out, then individually those announcements cost more.
Spread me out at once.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You really set this up.
I didn't look.
This is all because of your whole jerk-off positivity message.
That's them, not me.
That is you. You encourage them.
They got a serious question.
Yeah, looking at the success of Gamescom, TGS. Well, I don't know that TGS is successful. And the like, where they have stupid levels of attendance. Again, TGS doesn't have stupid levels of attendance. Well, that's fine. And still the general public access. What about E3 and the ESA do you think caused the steady decline? My understanding is that they just weren't very receptive to working with business partners. And that... So, E3 has always been in a really funky spot because it was a trade show, not a consumer show. Mm-hmm. Granted, it started to change, but it was always caught between two worlds. Nice. Of so like E3 technically when it started was a place for like distributors to go talk to game publishers. So it was a place for
oh no.
Sorry, some dude just jumped off of a thing and it fell over on him.
Brutal.
The role of E3 honestly was for like the regional supplier of Walmart to talk to Nintendo and decide how many Game Boys they needed to stock this year.
But that was 20 years ago.
Yeah. But that's where the show started, and that business was always happening there. But then it turned out that like to talk about how many Game Boys to stock, you had to tell Walmart that a Game Boy was being made. So then that's where like news headlines started to happen, and then that's where games and media started to go to report on it.
Interesting.
And then it became a media source. And then consumers started paying way more attention to the show than it was originally intended to. So it was always caught in this weird hybrid of being a place where the ESA talks to business partners, and that's what they care about because that's what the show's about. And then the general public really caring about the show, and the ESA not really understanding how to parlay that into to any amount of momentum or make money off of it. Whereas things like Gamescom started off as consumer shows and expos, kind of like Comic-Con.
That is a beautiful summary, Lawrence. Thank you.
No problem. It's what I'm here for.
Criken, do you want to be spread out, or do you want it all at once?
Do I want to be spread out, or do I want my games news to be spread out across?
You want to spread it all out,
Bruce. It's an interesting middle ground because I like events. I like going to trade show and like walking around.
I actually really like those events.
Mainly because I get to meet up with people that I don't see that often, and like there's like my close friends and my convention friends, and like whenever we meet up, we kind of pick off where we left off, and it's great.
You might pee next to Hideo Kojima.
There's a chance I could pee next to
Shigeru Miyamoto once.
Last actually E3 I went to like the industry party that I got an invite to, and I was like rubbing shoulders with like Phil Spencer, Doug Bowser, freaking the cute Japanese developer that revealed her game and is very like, she was there. Yeah. It was great. I was like, I was the small fish, and I was like, hey, I make videos online. And they're like, okay, why are you here? And I was like, well, let me try to justify myself.
Watch me be.
But yeah, so that was really fun, and you don't really get that opportunity often unless, outside of these sort of things. And it really lets you kind of get a better overall sense of the industry.
This video keeps getting reposted.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it before. It's a great video, but it's just because it's really good.
Oh, so sorry. Pringle corrected and said that TGS has 5 times the attendance of E3, which I didn't know.
What is TGS?
The attendance.
Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
I also actually, before we talk about that, I want to. We interrupted you, so
my bad.
Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, but I think
that's on hard times. Sorry, you're getting fooled by parody. I'm so sorry. People with our highlighted messages. Jeez.
Go
ahead. The spreading it out, I think, makes more sense for the majority of people, and also for like majority of online creators who just kind of like tune in, and their channel maybe is around RPGs, and then new RPG is announced, and you can kind of ride the hype then. But if you're at the show, it's actually even worse for creators, because when you're at the show, you're not making content around the show, and therefore you're falling behind. So
that is correct.
It is technically better for us, but I think it's more. I personally, I guess to some selfish degree, have enjoyed being at these places and having like some sort of creative thought and discussion with people that aren't in my line of work directly, but we still are adjacent to each other. Yeah. So
no, me too. I'm an extrovert. I like going and like meeting people and hanging out with and like catching up, because those are people I don't see once a year or whatever. So absolutely. And at this point now in my career, since I've left a full-time job with benefits and instead I'm having to work on my own, then yeah, you're right. When I'm at an event, I'm not making content and therefore not making money and supporting my business.
Yeah.
So
it's a scary thing to think of things that way, because once you start thinking of your time as a pure time is money, effort and time and energy and creative like bandwidth and everything, then suddenly the resource cost of going on vacation or anything else becomes a lot more dire than it does in any other job. That's the part of the job most people don't really know about or think about, but it's very real.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was going to say about E3's attendance. The E3's attendance wasn't really ever a metric. I know people used it as a metric, but E3 wasn't about that. It was never about the attendance, except for maybe E for All. But other than that, it was more about what connections were made, what industry titans were there, what news was revealed, etc. Like Lawrence was describing earlier 20 years ago. So E3's attendance wasn't ever a big deal, because Gamescom destroys everything else in terms of attendance. Yeah. There's like 300,000 people there or something. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure the numbers, but were you going to speak to that as well?
No, not necessarily. I guess Pringle's still posting about TGS.
Yeah.
TGS is pretty mobile focused, because it's about the Japanese game development economy. So North American people didn't have a lot of reason to care about TGS, which is why I dismissed it in terms of, I guess E3 was kind of the root of Western game development and AAA game marketing and stuff like that. So that's why there's more crossover with Gamescom. But it's I mean, we can think about it from our perspectives, which that's the one we're most qualified to talk about.
It's true.
If everything goes digital only, I feel like, and then to some degree the walls come down a lot, because then everyone's going to simulcast everything, and everyone's going to be commenting on everything, and it's Yeah, it's totally. It's a good thing, I guess. There used to be such a barrier to entry and a barrier of access.
There's not anymore.
Go to E3 and get invited to specific things. Yeah, I feel like to some degree the separations are going to get wider, if that makes any sense. So, the events that are publicized for everybody, your Nintendo Directs or whatever, to the degree that you're allowed to simulcast or rebroadcast, everyone's going to be throwing up their commentary and blowing up their reactions so that they can get GIFs on Reddit. And, peeing in their own mouth whenever Cyberpunk DLC gets announced. Stay tuned for my channel if you want to see me pee in my own mouth.
Oh, no. Okay.
Is that the Cyberpunk future that you're emulating?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
All right. So I was just making sure. Trying to figure out why you were peeing in your own mouth.
Because I'm excited, and I want to get on Reddit. Got to get... You talk about content creation, baby. You got to get to the top of RL, peeing in your own mouth.
That is a way to do it.
And I'm gonna. But, okay, so that'll be like everybody. And then I feel like if there's not a single event that everyone's physically at that people can do broader media activations and like cycle people through to play a demo or to do an interview, then if every company's holding their own media event and they have to pay to fly everyone out, that attendance list is going to get way, way smaller. Mm-hmm. So whereas if you had a semi-successful podcast and you and your bro from Iowa fly out to LA, and you can get on more lists that way than if you're just being like, please invite me to your thing in New York. Yeah. No one's going to do that.
No one's going to do that.
Yeah, they're going to have an attendance list of maybe 20.
That's very true. I mean, so hold on. Was that example of the Iowa people?
Well, they wouldn't make the connections if. So, for example,
if they weren't going to E3,
if E3 didn't exist, then they would not make those connections because they would have no.
It's not even connections; they wouldn't get the access.
Well, so
if they went
still
to E3,
don't get that access. Like I've been E3 for like 5 years, and each year I've like gotten increasingly like a little more kind of peek behind the curtain. But my first year, even though I had a pretty successful YouTube channel, like there was no like access available.
Well, but it took you years to break in, and I think what Lawrence is saying is that, and I'm not speaking for you, but you let me know if I'm wrong. But they will never get it. Like it's just like they'll, but there's nothing to break into because there's no event.
Sure,
So like you were still physically there.
Yeah.
And if in a given year you had a good conversation with a PR person.
Yeah.
Next year they're like wrapping a game and you're like, hey, can you get me on the list to do the demo? Like that's much more attainable.
That's true.
Than you just being in LA and them having a media event in New York.
Yeah.
Where they only invite 20 people who have millions of followers on Instagram or something like that. I feel like now, in a way, it's more and less accessible. I feel like everyone gets the same level of access all the time, which is a good thing. But then for like the actual media events that people have to do on their own, now that there's not an E3, those are more expensive and thus more prohibitive to get into for content creators. So I feel like, things will get better and worse at the same time.
Like as is almost always the case with humanity in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Tesseract asked a good question. You think spreading things out would make publishers slow down production times as they are not crunching to deliver demos and be pressured by hype?
Yes.
It should help.
It should, to some degree.
I don't think that it will.
I don't think
but
it will.
Should.
You'll still need to do promo.
Right.
I think it'll change.
But, I mean...
At least there was a time everyone agreed on before.
Yeah.
And it was like not negotiable. E3 happens now. I think now there'll just be more meetings of people begging to push back a particular announcement.
Well, now it's going to be more about releases. Like, you don't want to release Cyberpunk alongside my secret unannounced Cyberpunk-esque game that is coming out the same month as Cyberpunk.
You have one? Criken?
This is... I can announce it as of now in the 5 minutes. It's officially... And now. Cybercrunk, yes.
Steam crashed.
Yeah, I mean, like...
World economy shut down because everyone was buying Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. You
got rid of the
our
word
marketing
punk
team. Our marketing team could not come up with a better name. It was a struggle, but we all settled on Cyberpunk because we had a decision by committee and no one could give any ground. So
people pounding tables. There's a dry erase board that's just filled with names.
Yeah, it was a combination of every word people liked, and they just
fine. We'll we can't decide. We'll just do it all.
Cyberpunk. But I think games that would be competing for the same market share, ideally now, instead of being on the same release schedule because of things like E3, could hopefully spread out a bit more and give more time. I mean, there's already been a ton of delays this year and last year where there's, developers are starting to give, or publishers getting developers a little more time to finish stuff. Hopefully, I don't know. That was my read, at least from, far away. I didn't really look into all the ins and outs, but ideally this would allow for more of that. I don't see why it would make for less.
It should, but like Lawrence said, and this is what I've heard from every, and I think probably any media would tell you this, whether or not it's movies, television, video games, whatever. If they have a date for when they're going to release a trailer or a demo or whatever else, everyone's going to crunch to that date. And that's what always seems to happen. It's like, I honestly think, and this is going to sound terrible, but I think it's part of production. Because a lot of people, when it comes to art, when you're making art, and, you know, don't get me wrong, all the stuff that people make, good or bad, is art. They're always perfecting it. So they're always like, oh, I can make this better. I can make this better. I can make this better. There's never really a time when you feel like you're done with something. And that's kind of why I think...
You have an art command?
I do.
Nice.
Because we've talked a lot about it in our chat.
That's nice. I have a critic command where I say, I went to film school, so whatever I say goes when it comes to art.
Well, you guys are an excellent pair to discuss this subject.
Yeah, we are. You're right. But there's always like perfection where you're like, it could get better. I could get better. And truthfully, honestly, no artist is ever satisfied with their own craft. I know that sounds really high and mighty, but that's just what happens when you make something creative. All of you in chat, I'm sure, are creative in one way or another. When you're making something, you're not like, it is done, I will never touch it again. I'm sure, like, if you're drawing something, you're like, oh, I could add this, or I could add this, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, there's nothing that could be improved. Because it's always, the way that I've always kind of thought about the process is, you have an idea, and to some degree, your creativity or your talent defines the resolution of your idea, like how completely you can see it in your head. And then you have to find, through the use of tools and craft, to express it and make it real in the world. And then it's your experience with those... All right.
That guy sneezes every day, just that loud.
Sneeze?
That is insane.
It's the same guy. He comes out here and sneezes really loud.
He walks out into the
He phonetically
air.
went, achoo!
And he yells it. He yells it so that literally everybody can hear.
That's amazing.
Every day.
I did not know
More than once sometimes.
Somebody sneezed so comically
Achoo.
perfect.
Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay.
He interrupts me all the time, too.
Yeah, boy, that really destroyed my train of thought. So then through the use of tools, whether that's like a brush or Adobe Premiere or a webcam, like whatever your tools are, you then try to make your idea real. And then it's your expertise and your experience with those tools that determines how close the reality is to what your original idea was. And in that process is kind of all the indeterminate factors that determine a good artist from a bad one that can actually realize their vision. But along the way, you hit all these problems you didn't know would exist, or you have to learn new tools to express yourself. And navigating those problems and compromising and adapting your vision or figuring out how to get closer to your vision is the process. That's the creative process. And having a date, having a cutoff, having a deadline is kind of important. Because, I think if...
Achoo.
Well said. A little short, but well said. Could have been louder. I think that, E3 was kind of nice because... I'm not a game developer, and I hesitate to speak on behalf of them, but I do think that it was probably nice to just know that deadline was there. Even, like... September the year before, E3 next year, something's got to happen.
There's a deadline.
You already start thinking about it.
It's also true that, like, I think it is a motivational thing for developers that what we're making right now is going to be seen by hundreds of thousands, and
so that's a good point.
We need to get it right because it's going to be at E3. We know that much. So
I feel like at E3 too, it was like it's not now, but it was guaranteed. You knew you'd have a really large audience. And now people are working toward a deadline, and then like, our YouTube video is going to be out, and then it gets 20,000 views, and they're like, fuck. I just crunched for an entire year to get that.
It's morale.
Well, and nobody knows what the deadlines are anymore. So it's like, and everyone was kind of working towards having something ready for June. So now what? And this is what plays into the dude swooping in.
Jeff Keighley's phone must be blowing up right now.
He's blowing up everyone's phone. It's the other way, man.
Well, he backed out before it got canceled
because he knew.
Right, but like.
Oh, you're probably
the people that would have been going for an E3 spot are going to be like, what about you? Like, everyone's going to be muscling for a spot on that show. I think it's going to increase.
Well, that's the combat that I am sure has already started. That the money men at IGN and GameSpot are all like they're texting each other furiously, like, I mean, like, we can do this, and then they're hitting up every publisher, being like, hey, what are you doing? So the combat is beginning.
Oh boy.
The fight for your eyeballs video game consumer.
That's happening all the time. It's like the fight between good and evil, demons and angels, happening all the time
Who's
everywhere.
the angel?
I think Code,
they're all. It's all shades of gray. They're all like.
No, it's not. It's black and white, dog.
He's right.
Yeah.
Then who's the wait?
We're
So
the good
who is
guys.
the ESA?
We're the ESA, the bad guys.
Absolutely
okay.
the bad guys.
So the good guys are poaching from the corpse of the bad guys. That's great.
Well, I would say the bad guys are poaching from the bad guys.
That's what I was gonna say. So there's no good guys.
They
in
don't
this.
care about sweet video games.
No, they
just
don't.
want money.
Of course.
That's not true.
They don't care, Bruce. We're
Tell
the ones
Lawrence.
who care. If we were any three things, would be different.
We should do it ourselves,
We
guys.
should do it ourselves.
Let's start Criken game conference.
Oh man, I saw Vasinko mention that like this is like when Sean for No Man's Sky, in terms of the art thing, he was like basically, yeah, like it'll be this and this and this and this because he was saying it all the things he wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But when they hit the deadline, they were nowhere near it. And that happens with every single piece of art.
Yep.
It's just something that I think, and again, if you. Maybe you don't think about art in a macro that way, but if I'm sure everybody has some sort of creative aspect to their life, and that's what it is. It's just you're constantly working on something. So yeah, that's just what's going to happen. I don't think that will really help crunch unless somebody actually does the management helps crunch, which it's up to management. So
to some degree, and I hesitate to say this because it feels like I'm trying to like accept bad conditions, but I think to some degree crunch is awesome. Crunch is kind of unavoidable in game development.
Oh, it totally. I mean, in every form of media, unfortunately, it is. Yeah.
Anything you do that is not 100% known, that has any amount of like unknowns in it, and game development has so many unknowns. Unless you are, making FIFA, which is why those come out every year like clockwork because they're templated. If you're doing something new in any regard, you're making a new system, new game mechanics. There's going to be unknown problems. Those unknown problems you can account for. But, like, if you're a project manager, how do you know to bake in 3 months of whoopsie time? 6 months? A year?
Yeah.
There's no way to know. So, like, it's so easy to write it off and be like, good management can prevent crunch. To a degree, it can. And I think, like limiting scope and being aware of having experience is probably the biggest thing, of just knowing where these problems come up and how much time they tend to cause. But man, to some degree, to hit any release date ever, I think does involve some amount of like at the end, cutting off features and saying these are the ones we got to get done, and we have 2 months to do it.
It always does.
Yeah. So I feel bad because I feel like a lot of very good and positive conversations have happened in the last couple of years about acknowledging developer conditions, but I do think to some degree they're unavoidable by virtue of the way game development has happened.
So I mean, it's by virtue of the way anything is made. Like that, movies, television. Again, it's like there are lots of things left on the cutting room floor where people are trying to figure out for movies whether or not they wanted to include this scene or this line of dialogue or whatever else. And sometimes they're just like, fuck, I don't know, it's better this way, and then they have to put it out because there's a movie release date.
Somebody asks if were the holidays crunch time for Funhouse? Yes.
Every year.
We had several crunch times, actually. Like, before RTX was always a pretty big crunch because not only did we have to plan and produce everything we were doing at RTX, but we had to make all the media for the time we were gone for RTX.
That goes for every RTX, by the way, whether or not it was Australia or Austin or whatever else.
So, and then it's like you work twice as hard just to make the media for when you're gone. You work 3 times as hard to make things for where you're going and what you're going to do there. And then the second you're done with it, you have to get back in the office and get back to your regular pace. So
there was crunch on the before and the after. Because when you come back from holiday break, you took 2 weeks off because you worked twice as hard before the 2 weeks off, and then you came back to no backlog.
Yeah, to nothing.
So then you're like, oh fuck!
You got to sprint to catch up. Yeah.
You have to do that, I assume, whenever you go out of town.
Yeah, it's a little different for me because I have editors now that work on my videos, and I do streams and then kind of just pull from that backlog. So it's not as. In the past, it was definitely that way where like, I'm going to be at PAX. I need to schedule a video while I'm at PAX. And that was, stressful. And then it's kind of funny when you go to like the parties at PAX with every other streamer, YouTuber, and they all have that same glazed over look of like, I just worked so hard and now I'm here and I feel like I'm working more and I'm so tired. And it's like,
yeah, because then you have to like ostensibly that's when you're networking.
Yeah.
And I hate to call it that because truly like the best networking is just hanging out with people and
meeting
talking.
people, yeah.
But yeah, when all your mind is you're both like physically and mentally drained from the crunch and the work you just did. the part of your mind is dedicated to making sure you don't let any threads drop while you're out of pocket and like trying to enjoy yourself. And then you're in a loud room like sipping on a light beer. Oh, that man got pooped on. Sorry, the Red Dead
That's a great clip. I'll leave it up.
It's a bummer too because I identify fully with what you talked about just seeing a bunch of people in the room who you can tell their minds are anywhere but there. Which is, I don't know, maybe why people drink, just so they can forget forget their anxiety for a fucking second.
Yeah, just like live in the moment, be like, all right, you all get it, this is hard, and then they just drink and make a fool of themselves because they don't drink that much. Or don't drink that often. Yeah, it's always, I've loved every party I've gone to because there's been like a different, really interesting vibe or story that's come out of like, meeting someone that like this is their first PAX and they're like, eyes sparkling versus like their 20th PAX and they're just like, pounding as many shots as they can. They're like, all right, let's get to the good part already.
The good part, which is being drunk.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
We should also address. People were asking, obviously, why Criken's not streaming. Why we don't have Criken's chat up. Criken, go ahead. Tell them why.
I mean, we're all about kind of full transparency here, so I feel like we can be transparent here too.
Absolutely.
A lot of what we all do online involves like concurrent numbers and statistics when going for, like selling yourself as a brand or whatever it might be, and it's a little hard for me to stream at this hour of the day and with this style of show, but I still really enjoy.
Well, it's a completely different show.
It is. It's very different from the usual stuff I do. So.
Yeah.
We decided that we try for a bit of me kind of appearing, but not streaming it to my own channel. Obviously, I still really enjoy the conversation and hanging out with all you guys. So I'm just going to be coming here and streaming with you guys, but not directly on my own channel.
And now these two chats can talk to you whenever they want.
That's right. And I don't have to read my chat, which is the worst part of my day.
They're asleep right now.
They're probably watching.
They are asleep.
Some of them are probably watching you right now. So
no.
Just so you're aware. I saw people asking at the beginning, and we talked about how E3 is terrible for 35 minutes. So
yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of bummed. Truthfully, like when people are asking me, like, are you going to PAX or RTX or whatever? I'm like, well, no, because I have to stay here and stream. Which, by the way, makes it sound bad. It makes it sound like I have to stay. No, I have to do my job, and I love doing my job. But I do miss those conventions. I miss seeing people at those conventions, whether or not they're fans or people that I've worked with for years or whatever. I mean, I've been in the industry now for 15 years, so I know a lot of people, and I see them over and over at E3. So it's sad from that perspective. But I think from the audience perspective, which is kind of the way I think about almost everything, then it looked like everybody wanted to be spread me out, is what they said.
A good point from Fake Quest Giver, which I love that name. Real rough for indie devs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I mean,
really bad.
There is GDC, which was also postponed, so double rough for them right now. But indie devs, a big opportunity for them is being able to show at a big convention where a publisher that could make your career might just happen to see your game and be really impressed by you, and they meet you at a party or something like that. And there's a lot less places for them to get discovered now, aside from just digitally and having games recommended. But it is kind of a weird thing because selfishly it does kind of put more ball in the court of creators like us that our work lies digitally, and now we're more important than ever because we're kind of how you can get word out.
We are more important than ever.
God damn it. But yeah, I think it has a lot of really bad drawbacks for people that need that person-to-person, face-to-face connection to get things going.
Yeah.
That opens up opportunity too.
How so?
Just like indie showcases, digital events, and things like that.
Yeah.
I do agree though. You do indie devs especially lose out on some of the fringe benefit of being in a place like E3, and then the two podcaster dudes from Iowa, maybe they don't get booked to go play the 18-hour Cyberpunk demo, but they're on the show floor. There's no line for this game, so they walk up and try it out. There's some fringe benefits there. And
I want to meet these two Iowa guys.
They're nice. They're nice dudes. They eat every meal at the IHOP that's down the street from the convention center.
Because it has an I in it and it reminds them of home.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you're right. 4 letters and it starts with an I. And I'm like, oh, that's it. But yeah, I feel like we will see a lot more, like tons more digital collection media events, and I'm repeating myself now, but I can only say that because I know for a fact there are some indie showcase events in the works to try and replace GDC. Replace is the wrong word, but like give indie people, especially for GDC, because a lot of people already bought their flights and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So there are some indie devs that are financially actually hurt by GDC being delayed.
Totally.
And with like E3, there were people who had rooms already for rent and things like that. One of the ladies I follow who runs a PR agency, she was like, "Well, I'm glad that I instituted a only rent rooms that have cancellation policies rule last year because she's going through and canceling everything." So yeah, God, yeah, that's magnets.
I know. Dare I say it, but everything is harder for indie devs.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's one of the. It's great to see people think about that because I see that's like sometimes that's the first thing I see on Twitter. Somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, what about this indie dev? What are they going to do?" That's great, but think about it this way: it's always hard because there's 15 of them, and they've been a company for 10 years, and
Can we please move off this image? It's killing me.
Barely it's driving us insane.
Why? What's wrong with it?
Badly weighted magnet.
But yeah, everything's harder for indie devs. So
no, they're doing it for the art, Bruce. They don't have to deal with.
You're right. Actually,
they don't. They can go to sleep at night.
If they're going for money, then they're not an indie dev.
Wait, hold on a minute.
If they're trying to make games for a living, and not just for the art,
they're doing it for the passion.
Yes, to express themselves.
They should wake up in the morning, eat their passion, drink their passion milk,
cut their passion check.
Wait, where do they get the passion milk from?
Their brain, and then they go to work,
squeeze it out.
How do they pay for their water and like electricity and stuff?
They just go to where it's free.
Artistic expression, Bruce.
Starbucks?
Yeah, make it an internet cafe. I don't know how games work.
Listen, if they make something beautiful like Gone Home, then the audience will know that and support them. Okay?
Every time.
So
every single time.
Yes, every time, dude. Every time.
So there's never been a failed small business.
I mean, the only failed small businesses were the ones that sold out.
Yeah.
Because they
start caring about money.
That's not true. That's exactly the opposite.
No. Bruce,
okay.
Jesus.
This hyperbole is great.
You don't care. You don't care about games.
You've never made an indie game before, and it shows.
This hyperbole is great. I like because all the sarcasm here is there's an understanding of capitalism, which is great, and I want to make sure everybody that is watching and listening understands that.
Are you implying that because E3's gone, capitalism will go away too, Bruce?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
That was not at all
the
what I was
glorious
saying.
future of socialism and Bernie Sanders because E3 died?
That was not at all what I was saying. It's just the fact that, this is something that I've talked about, I think, almost every single podcast, which is you always see a really passionate company start out small. That's how most companies start out with 2-3 people, whatever. And there's a passion that they have. Whether or not it was a search engine like Google, or it was an operating system like Microsoft or whatever else. It's just a bunch of guys that are like, I want to make something cool and make something good for the world. And then as it gets bigger, it eventually loses its passion, and then it has to answer to only shareholders. Now there's a balance there, and this is something that I've been trying to encourage: is people talking about companies or even corporations that they like, that do things for the environment, they do things for their employees, do things that are good for people rather than bad, because there are not many of them, and I always encourage people to talk about them, because then we can go support them. And so indie companies, since they stay smaller, it's much easier to keep a really good image with 10 people or 15 people than it is to keep a really good image with 500. Because as a company gets larger, then you get more people, and then more people get more corrupt, and then there's more corruption means more greed, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, those are just, I want to make sure that everybody understands that in the audience, when we're joking around about, you drink your passion milk and shit like that people really do have to make livings in order to make things.
Yeah, this was
the world.
Definite sarcasm. I think.
No, I know.
It's more, we're riffing on the fact that people really do believe this stuff, and like maybe it's not to the extent as drink your passion milk, but like people, it sucks sometimes to see online when people call it indie developer for selling out when they sign with the publisher, and it's like literally where would they have gotten the money otherwise? Right. Like most indies will make a vertical slice or a demo in order to then pitch to a publisher because they have no financial way of finishing the game otherwise.
Yeah.
And I actually know two indie devs that went to my school and that I'm friends with that took publisher money, but there were literally two of them, two developers, and they took just enough for them to pay themselves for like 3 years and bang this entire game out over 3 years. And it's like they killed themselves in crunch and just like bare minimum of spending money just for bare necessities in order to work all day on this thing from home. And it's like, it's as far from the sellout idea as possible. It's like, but people don't see that side of it. And so it's really frustrating when you...
How was the game received?
Well, although it was... it's one of those things where it was like inspired by another game, and so a lot of people like look at it from a glance and are like, "Oh, you copied them." And it's like, what? No, you don't understand nearly all the effort that was put into it. So that felt bad. But I think they're still working on it and pushing it forward. So, and it takes insane amount of tenacity to push through negative reviews when you've given all of yourself to something already.
It's something that I think all of us are very, privy to. Is all of that is a constant negative feedback, as well as positive. We get both, but there's almost a constant stream of negativity, and that's something that we've exposed ourselves to. I understand it was a choice, but it's still there. So what were you gonna say?
Oh, just something that I think we experienced personally on a much smaller scale, but having to deal with like logistics and realities that the audience is allowed to ignore. So kind of like you're talking, like the developer has to eat and pay rent, and that's not greed. That's just like if they're not alive, they can't make a game for you to play. I was kind of bummed when I saw a lot of that exact thing surrounding the Epic Game Store. How Epic Game Store would drop heavy checks on games, and like some of the indie devs were like, they promised us profitability.
Yeah.
And to like, you take out a loan from the bank and you're on the hook for $250,000 because you had a dream and you had passion. And then here comes the Epic Game Store and they say, we're going to make sure that no matter what, your house won't get repossessed. And you as an indie dev are like, well, I could say yes to that and be confident that I'll have a place to sleep. Or I can do the right thing and release on Steam and get buried under 10 Russian hentai games. And some dude on the internet is gonna like call you an asshole for taking taking the money?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Just because they don't want to install another store that they've convinced themselves is Chinese spyware and everything. That was a huge bummer. And granted, it's not that uncommon for like the gaming populace to ignore any amount of like reality factor the developers have to face. But still, I was hoping that some people would be a little more understanding of like, they're out there subsidizing games, and because they're doing what they're doing, more games get to exist.
I was going to say they're making video games.
Yes, and more game developers get to not starve to death. I remember I talked to this one development. They were like a husband-wife pair, and they were making this really cool like roguelike. But at one point, they were living in a tree house.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah. I think I brought this up before, but they were working off of a generator.
Yeah, and
that was their passion. But they didn't have a place to live. They were homeless.
Wow.
Made a video game.
Holy
so,
shit.
Man, for how much you think you're passionate about games, sometimes that passion can only exist in your mind and in your form because hasn't been tested by like.
Oh yeah, good point.
The need to pay rent.
Yeah, true.
That is the ultimate test. And this is something that I don't ever like to use as an argument, but at some point, sometimes it applies, which is like people are always like, "This is a terrible film. This is a garbage movie. This is a garbage television show. Like, this is shitty." And you're like, you could totally do that, obviously. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But...
And sometimes it's kind of fun.
And it's totally fun. Totally fun to do that. But also, maybe try and make one. Try and write a television show. Or, maybe, like, and when it comes to streaming and YouTube videos, anybody can do that. So that's always my first thing. Is like, give it a shot. Like, if you think that you can stream better, and I've actually heard stories of people... I wish I would say his name, but I don't want to make sure that I could be wrong about it. But I knew a YouTuber, huge YouTuber now, who walked into the Achievement Hunter office and was like, "Oh, I could do this. What the fuck? I had no idea that this is what this was. I could do this," and then did, and became a massive YouTuber because of it.
It was Jack Black, wasn't it?
It was Jack Black. That's right. It was Kevin James, and totally did it. And that's it. Like, that's all it took was a little motivation and just somebody going like, "Oh, I could try that," and then did. And that's what I love about the content we make is that I don't ever say, oh, there's like, I'm never gatekeeping it and being like, oh yeah, no, only certain people can Twitch stream. It's like, no, dude, anybody can try it. You might as well. It'll provide more content to the world, and that's in my opinion the best part of it, is that we get more stuff to watch. So.
And I already see the response, because to some degree, whenever you ask people to be mindful of factors they may not be aware of, there's always somebody who interprets it as like, so we're not saying you're not allowed to have an opinion, all right? You're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah.
I think where it crosses a line of decency is when you start to demand things of people without listening to why they say that they may not be able to provide those things.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if like going back to what I was saying earlier, a fine opinion is like, that sucks that game is going to be on that store because I don't want to use that store. Totally fine opinion. I think where it crosses the line is when you're like, you shouldn't do that, and the reasons you're telling me are bullshit, and I don't believe you.
I see.
That's when it kind of starts to get over into rough stuff. Is like, you can have an opinion. You can even choose not to believe somebody when they tell you their reasons for doing something, but I don't know, man. Maybe often there's not a whole lot of reason for people to lie, especially if they're independent. I don't know. I wish people, when somebody comes out and says, here is my reality, here are the problems I'm dealing with, it's wild to me the volume of people who will get up and be like, no. You are wrong.
Yeah. That is weird. And I think as you get older, because I mean, when I was younger, I definitely did that to people.
Same.
100%. And then as you get older, and maybe not, maybe I just wised, it took me too long to wise up. But if you wise up earlier, you start to realize, oh, wait a minute, everybody's got their own perspective and shit they're going through. So yeah, maybe they can't do that. Like, instead, be inclusive and be like, oh, you know what? That sucks, man. I'm really sorry that's happening to you. Is there anything I can do to help? Versus, no, that can't be true. That can't be true. Okay, I guess it's not true then. If you say so.
I don't know do you guys remember that time when you went from somebody's experience or their worldview being so different from yours that you automatically were like, that can't happen. Like, you must be lying? Do you remember the moment that you jumped from that to being like, oh, maybe there's things about this universe I don't know? Because for me, I remember when I was 14 years old, specifically when I was 14, straight up telling my dad, I know everything.
Yeah.
Like, and I meant it. Which is that, like, I either knew everything right then, or if I just, out of the brilliance of my mind, I could just figure it out. And I would be right. I was sure of that. And then I think, it wasn't until I was like 24?
Really?
It was a long time.
Oh boy.
When I started to be like, maybe other people can have experiences.
Yeah.
Is that a sneeze? And they can think things, and they can be right too.
Yeah.
We can both be right.
For me, it was college. This is kind of an interesting example. I've referenced this a couple of times, but I went to an all-boys school, actually, when I was growing up.
That explains a lot.
Thank you, Bruce. And I was always, in my own mind, I was a fairly progressive, like, person within that kind of community of, like, private all-boys school. And then I went to college in California, and I remember the first time I was in a classroom with, like, women, because, like, I hadn't thought about it, but, like, I literally had never been in a situation where I was in a classroom with, like, learning alongside women. It was just not a thing.
Wow.
And that was, like, such a weird experience for me, because I was like, wait, they, these women are having the same intellectual thoughts that I am. And it wasn't that I was, like, misogynist or anything. That I had never been in a situation where that was so apparent to me before, and that was, like, a really big moment of me, like, growing. And it's not like I had assumed that wasn't the case. I knew it was the case, like, logically, but to have that be the thing that, I don't know, it sounds hard to describe, but it is, like, a thing that you kind of come to experience just from doing. And so for me, college was a really big time to, like, start meeting other people with different viewpoints. And a lot of the people in my same major were, like, trans or non-binary, and, like, I had a big time of learning what that was like from them, and there was a lot of talks about what that experience was like. So I kind of left myself to be open instead of saying, like, that doesn't sound like what I know. I was just like, it isn't, but I trust that it's been difficult for you, so I'm just gonna extend empathy.
I saw Boone say 23 is the age that you realize you're dumb as fuck. And
ideally,
he's totally right.
Some people make it through without without really grasping that.
Yeah,
That's true.
You're right. And I think it was, for me, it was personal relationships. Like because I used to be the kind of person that, like Lawrence was talking about earlier, where like if somebody was like, oh no, I can't do that because of this, and I'd be like, prove it. and then my really good friends, to their credit, were my good friends then at the time, would prove it to me, and I would be like, and then I'd come up with another excuse.
Very well.
Like, and then eventually, around the time 22, there were specific personal relationships that I had that changed drastically, and I remember that's what did it. It knocked me down all the way. Like it was like one of those things where I was just like at the very bottom, and not like depression, but just more of like all the things I thought were all wrong, and I was like, oh fuck. Like I was totally wrong, and then I remember I do this even now. I'll go back and think about situations that I was in 5-10 years ago, whatever, and I'll text those people and be like, I'm really sorry. I don't know why I did that. That was stupid. That was dumb, and I should never have like ever said, hey, what you're going through isn't right or true, because it always is. People's feelings are always right. That's the important thing to remember. That said, though, sometimes there are things where like there's a gray area. Not everybody can be completely factually accurate, et cetera, but that's all about your human relationships. Those are the compromises you come to. So it's really tough. It is super, super tough to be a human and have relationships. It's very hard.
I like how we got to that from E3.
From E3? I know.
Yeah,
Video
really.
Games.
This has been one of the more intellectually stimulating episodes compared to the usual jerk off.
You're calling our episode bullshit? Is that what you're saying? Damn, I'm not going to Criken this year. I am not going to Criken this year.
We won't have the.
I'm not saying bullshit. It's just as honest. It's just the other side of the spectrum. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Speaking of honesty, I saw Veroni in chat a while ago asked, "How can people support this podcast?"
Oh.
Well, we're scrambling to get sponsors. Well, I am at least. I'll have my energy drink coming up. But no, I mean we did that NordVPN read a while ago. We've got some other conversations going, so we're gonna get paid. Don't you worry about that. But I guess just, participating in chat is great. Leaving a review on iTunes or whatever. Recommending it to friends.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, we appreciate that. Luckily we've been around the media production block a few times, so we know how to get that money.
We have a sponsor coming next week. It's NordVPN, it's the sponsor we had before. And the one thing that if you want it, use the code, because NordVPN will definitely look at that and be like, oh, how many people use it? 100 people? Great, cool. That's really good for us or whatever. That's another way to support the podcast. So if you hear an ad and you really want it, then use it. And if you don't, then don't. It's literally that simple. Yeah. So it's that easy.
But that stuff is important. I mean, it's wild that we are so deep into capitalism. Well, maybe it's not that wild, but yeah, if you like media, you should think about how to support it. And like for most media, it's pretty simple. Like if you want to support Castlevania on Netflix, pay for Netflix, watch Castlevania. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
But when it comes to content creators, it
is a little trickier. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be, because there's multiple ways that people earn revenue and stuff like that. So usually, how you spend your time is People have gotten very good about monetizing eyeballs and time, because often that's the currency. That's what you have. So, it's fun.
Ooh, that's actually fun to think about. Think of how much your eyeballs are worth. Every second of focusing on something, we got to get a mathematical equation of breaking down that number. I think that would help everyone's self-worth to some degree.
I don't think it does, actually.
Really?
Because I think there is already that. I think Facebook has a monetary value assigned to it.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
bad.
sure they do.
It's like $3.50 a person.
Yeah, I'm sure.
$3.50
something like
per
that.
second. Like what's the time? I mean,
you as a Facebook user are worth that. I think. I need to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that you as a person and all of your data is not, like, it's valuable. Ugh.
I don't know what this is. I think it's just a Photoshop. Why would they? What is this?
I like it.
All right, I'm scrolling past
it. Exponentially cursed.
I hate it.
Well, you know what I don't hate? My new sponsor.
Oh boy.
They're not your sponsor.
Hey,
they didn't pay you any money, man.
$3.50, damn it.
Truth to power, Bruce.
They didn't pay. I want my $3.
I mean, So, not to get too existential about it, but technically you already got paid because you're enjoying free services as provided to you by private companies. Whether that's, free email, free social networking, whatever. Yeah. It's kind of like the whole, like, you're getting crammed into a plane. Technically, you're already enjoying the benefits of that because your plane ticket is so cheap. Air quotes. I mean, it's cheap now, dude. You guys want to fly? Now's the time.
It is true.
I was looking at plane tickets to Hawaii. It's like $350 round trip.
What?
Yeah, dude.
You guys want to go to Hawaii?
Yes.
Well, next episode's coming from Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll start a podcast Patreon, and if once we hit 350, we're gone.
Just only one ticket.
Yeah, there's no episode.
Only one ticket.
They give you.
We all show up with one ticket, so we can only let one person on the plane.
We didn't think this through.
Just start slapping and pushing each other, trying to get. Anyway, my new sponsor, soon to be new sponsor.
Not sponsored. Yeah.
So last week went great. Still didn't hear anything, but.
On what was it? I don't remember.
Khalifa coffee, salted caramel.
Wiz Khalifa coffee.
Wiz Khalifa coffee.
It had almond milk in it. Have we named this podcast yet? Sort of.
It's talk to the internet.
Talk to the internet
on iTunes, but it can change at any time.
And yeah, you cannot search for it for any way. If you type in
the worst possible. The worst possible search engine optimization.
We'll call it Criken Talk or whatever it was.
Ew, this sounds dirty.
Never looked. Just watching on Twitch. Oh, if you use the podcast command, you should get a spread of.
There it is. Bang.
Spread of link. And if you click on the other services, that should have them all listed.
Yeah.
It's the Wii U of podcast names.
Kabang.
Hey, thank you. All right. So I still feel like there's plenty of sponsor. All right, so I just broke into the coffee game last week.
You did, yeah, that's right.
And I can't expect over 1 week that everyone's going to know. Because, you bust into the scene, everyone's dazzled for a second.
Yeah,
they're like, who's that amazing...
It doesn't take a while. Generally, there's a lot of hype at the beginning. Usually.
Who's that amazing influencer that just busted into our party is what they're all saying. And they're scrambling for their emails and their Twitter DMs and their Discord messages. So I got to give some more time for that whole industry to react. So going with another coffee drink this week. Energy is still technically an energy drink, as you'll see.
Is it?
It is Super Coffee, protein plus MCT oil.
There's protein in it?
Yeah,
What's MCT? Is that CBD oil?
No, it's MCT oil.
What's that?
New. It's just new.
Yeah.
They just found
weed?
it.
Because I want weed.
I don't know. There's a picture of a little brain next to the MCT oil.
Okay, so does something with your brain.
Does brain things?
I don't want any oil on my brain.
It all started in our little brother's dorm room. Tired of unhealthy energy drinks, we removed the negatives and added the positives.
What does that mean?
Because if we change our energy, we can change the world. That's the key to life. Jordan, Jake, and Jimmy.
Thanks, Jordan, Jake, and Jimmy.
Key2 coffee, whatever this is.
No, Super Coffee.
It doesn't. Oh no, it says Key2 on there. Took me a second to find it.
Oh,
positive energy. It says on the.
There's
plastic
way too
wrapper.
much branding on this.
What do you mean, way too much? Change your energy. Change your world, Bruce.
What's MCT oil?
I don't know.
Chat. What is MCT oil? MCT oil is from coconut.
It's got to be good for you. Yeah.
What does that do? MCT oil is a supplement made from a type of fat called medium chain triglycerides.
Of course, I love them. Can't get enough of them. Of those medium chain
this
triglycerides.
This makes them easier to digest. You can absorb MCT in your bloodstream. It turns it into energy you can use. Okay.
Oh, so it's super energy.
Why is it next to a brain then? I'm sure it's good for me. It's got monk fruit, organic coffee, 10 grams of protein.
I love that show, Monk Fruit, with the guy that's like, something wrong with this.
That's actually, that was a good joke. What did you say about before the monk joke? You said something that I was going to address. I don't remember what it was. Oh well, fuck it. Who cares? It's not a real sponsorship.
Organic coffee.
I don't remember.
Bruce, please don't talk poorly of my sponsor. Soon to be sponsor.
They're not your sponsor.
Soon to be sponsor. Let me pop this open here.
That's the stuff that
can't wait.
Gives Goku for his spirit bomb.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to have it coursing through my veins. 200 milligrams of caffeine, though. Which is more than like a Red
Stop slapping
Bull.
that thing.
That's what it was. 10 milligrams of protein, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, 10 grams.
Oh, I'm sorry. 10 grams of protein.
200 milligrams of caffeine, which is 0.2 grams.
Gotcha.
So, we got everything. Let's slap in this bottle a little bit.
Yeah, slap it around. Get it ready.
It doesn't. You can't shake it up.
Gotta activate it.
Gotta activate the brain juice.
The MCT oils.
Starting to leak.
Just don't splash coffee on my monitor
I'll try
like
my
you did
best.
last time.
I'll open it towards me this time.
There we go.
It's got a weird color about it.
What's the smell?
Does it smell like coffee?
It smells nice. It smells like coffee, yeah.
It smells like coffee, a little bit of mint to it.
It smells real good.
Yeah.
It smells real good.
Give it a little swig here. Tastes,
Ooh.
Oh,
Brain juice, something weird about it.
Brain juice.
Tastes like sponsorship.
Tastes like green.
They didn't sponsor you.
It's a little. What's the word?
Bad.
Hold on. I'm still tasting it. It's a little watery. I expected a little more froth, I guess, for a white chocolate peppermint enhanced coffee beverage. That's what it's described as. Yeah, you can
Watery.
taste the coconut. Coconut has a particular bouquet.
Yes.
That MC2 oil, though, can't.
Does it hit your brain real hard?
It's gonna hit my bank account real hard. I'm pretty sure. Here in a minute.
Why would that? Because they're going to pay you.
Yeah, dog. Can't wait. Key 2. Holler at me. Love your product. Your enhanced coffee beverage.
Product question mark.
Enhanced
It's always nice when you buy a product and then go to the corporation that made it and then extend your hand and say, now
Yes.
you pay me because I bought your product. They like that.
Yeah, hell yeah. Can't wait.
How
Okay,
many
boy.
times has that worked for you? Greg?
None, but I've got a good hunch about the next one.
I'm gonna come in tomorrow. Next week. Sorry.
It's just gonna be Bruce in
wearing
his
my-
house.
Yeah, I'm just going to be here with all the garbage trucks.
Kick in the door in my Key 2 jersey and my Key 2 pants.
It works.
I'm gonna be wet with MCT oil. It's gonna be coming out my pores.
Fuck. That's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Just rub brain oil over
Not the
yourself.
cosplay.
I know who that is. I'm playing Witcher 3.
Yeah, that's what's her
Good
name?
old
The
Kira
witch.
Yeah.
What's her name?
There's a witch in Witcher?
Her name's right there.
Is it Kira Metz?
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
That Witcher. Who boy?
Did you
That
talk-
Witcher gets me
Fully
tight in the
witched.
pants.
the witch? Who does? Geralt or the witch?
Carol.
Both.
Oh.
All.
Both. All. Everyone's horny in The Witcher.
Yeah,
That
they
is
are,
true,
actually.
actually.
That's 100% true.
It's a very horny game.
Yeah, you can have a nice little romantic dinner with Kira. Except she's using you.
I mean, you can do a
Everyone's
lot more with
using
Kira.
everyone.
Yeah.
Did you do a lot more with Kira?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta finish the quest, Bruce. I did
think-
it for completion.
You got to finish something. You gotta
100% completion.
Is this a dinner
Bruce.
in the forest? Because I did do that one.
It is.
That was the only person I fucked in
Oh
that
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Oh, really? It was her?
I quit playing afterwards. I got my fill.
You got that. Wait, did you finish that quest line though?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We had like tower and there's some crazy shit.
Man, Geralt is a simp. Like it's
Really?
true. Yeah, he gets fucking taken for a ride by any. It's
He does. You're right.
like hot sorceresses work that boy every time, and he's just a big dope. Like he kind of knows it happens too, and he's like, what am I gonna do? Awesome.
It's disgusting.
Microaggressions. Hey, if dudes can man spread, then women can
Fart is-
queef space.
Oh.
I mean, that's just a fart. I don't know if it's a queef. I mean, I guess she could queef if she wanted to.
It would be.
Are there people that can queef, like, on their own?
I don't think we're the ones to say. Really.
I've heard people
I'm just
brag
asking
that
the
they can do
question.
it on command. Yes.
I would assume that you can. 'Cause
I mean, have you seen vape queef?
if there's a hole...
Can we go back to the wholesome talk we had like
if there's
10 minutes ago?
I was going to say, if there's a hole, you can suck air into it. Because I think...
Yeah.
I feel like I can suck into my butt, but I feel like I'm just lying to myself. I feel like all I'm doing is contracting everything down there, and that's not quite the same.
I mean, you probably are, to be fair. Because, like, you can hear it. I've met somebody that can do it. Have you ever met anybody that can do it?
Wait, what are we talking about? Butt sucking or?
Butt sucking, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Like sucking air in. So, like
Can't say it came up.
normally people will fart and then the air will come out. But I knew a guy who could bend over and he could suck air in, but it would make a noise.
That's cool.
It would go,
So wait,
Oh,
how does that?
like the Starlock pit.
I don't understand
sure,
how that
yeah.
would work because like you don't have a diaphragm to like.
I don't know, he did it.
That's cool.
It was pretty neat.
Huh?
There's that truck again.
It's an
That's the same truck though.
Last time somebody said that there's an isekai happening live.
No, I recognize
Truck
those.
slamming on its brakes.
I recognize those brakes. That's the thing I've also learned how to remember. I know which trucks are coming by.
Yeah, which one is that? Hold on, don't look.
Well, that one I don't know because that's a new one. Those brakes are
Ooh.
new. Generally,
Don't
those,
look.
Those brakes are new.
they are.
Maybe they got them replaced.
They,
I thought squeaky brakes were old. I guess I don't know anything
Oh, well,
about
I'm
women.
sorry. They're new to me. is
Oh,
what
I see what you mean.
Like, because I know which UPS truck is out there because I can hear them beeping. Because for some reason their trucks beep for no reason.
All right.
Oh, it's a FedEx truck.
He looked.
But that's something that I know now. Like I know which delivery driver it is because it's the same delivery driver comes every day, and then parks right outside my window and lets his car beep for an hour.
It gets to count. This
yeah.
is the only podcast shot on a loading dock. We're just out on a folding table drinking light beer and playing cards.
That would be a great vibe.
I wish that what I really want to do is I want to.
There was the outdoor cast. Sorry, there was like a podcast where somebody like set up a folding table and did it on like a thoroughfare. Like every episode was in a new, very public place, and they would just like yell at people who were walking by. It was a good gimmick.
I want to move this into that other bedroom, especially now that I played VR over here and slammed my hand into this wall a number of times.
This is definitely not a good place to play VR.
Alex,
I got my index.
Oh, you got it?
Or rather, I ordered it. I don't know if it's going to arrive on
time for Alex. Yeah,
but I'm allowing myself to get excited. I watched the gameplay videos.
Is it sold out already?
Oh yeah, it's gone.
Dang.
Oh, it's the new lot is gone.
8 weeks out. Like it sold out that day.
I was like, Stephanie found 2 ants in our place, which meant we had to immediately call an exterminator. So he showed up at exactly 10 a.m. on the day when I was trying to order an index. So I was like, I opened the door and I was like, okay, how cool am I going to play this? Kind of like panic refresh the page while he's telling me about where he's going to spray. Luckily, Steam wasn't accepting my order right away. I mean, luckily. So I was sitting there and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna knock down all these cobwebs. And I was like, that's cool, dude. Just go do whatever you want. I'll pay any money.
I'll pay any money.
And I ran back to my computer to refresh Steam so I could pay even more money to Valve for what I hope is more than a 4-hour game.
Do you have the index?
No.
Oh, you don't. I'm the only one that's got it? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look at me. Look at Bruce.
I haven't done VR in a while.
I have a tick where anytime I have to spend like over $20, my brain finds reasons to tell me that I shouldn't or can't.
It hurts. It really hurts.
And I had the money, but I just still feel so bad spending that amount of money on purely myself. Like when I bought a 2080 Ti, which, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, you bought that? Oh.
I got it for Control, but I put it in my cart and I just
just looked at it.
Every night I would come home and go to Newegg and stare at my cart and talk myself into it over the course of a week, and then I was eventually able to do it. Man, getting raised poor really does a number on you.
I mean, every time that I spend that amount of money, it's probably over $100. No, over 50. Every time I spend over $50, I think that I'll never see that money again. So like, I spend it and I'm like, that's it. I'm going bankrupt. Like I literally think that my job will end. And because like when I spend a lot of money, even now, like Lawrence and I just bought a bunch of audio equipment for this and for the Doom thing, and I just did that on my credit card, and I was like, all right, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pay that, and I know logically I know that I'll be able to pay because I'm working, but I always think that's the day that Twitch will shut down.
Yeah, there's so many unknowns. We're just like waiting for the pin to drop. Pin drop.
So
hammer to drop. Hammer.
Axe.
Pin. Shoot a
fall.
Shoot a drop.
Shoot a fall.
The other shoot a fall. The other shoot a drop.
No, the other shoot a drop.
Yeah, right.
Why is the first shoot already dropped?
I don't know.
Does anyone know the origin of that saying?
Because I guess you're sitting down in your bed taking off your shoes. I never thought about that.
Huh. Hammer.
Ball to fall.
Also, SGK called it. Bruce confirmed for Doom or Drunk Eternal.
Confirmed. Are we confirmed?
Yeah, I mean, you basically just did, but that's cool. We got
I didn't mean to.
No, don't worry about it.
I've been tweeting it, so I assume that people were like, oh.
Yeah, no, Bruce and I are going to be taking shots.
Fuck yeah.
Shots and shotguns. But yeah, what else was I going to... Oh yeah, there's still another mystery guest. Ooh.
Oh, there is? Oh, yeah, that's right.
There is. So I'll be revealing that over Twitter. Eventually you're going to have to take reference photos for the flyer that I'm working on.
Done.
I got Meme Lord Kino Fabino on Twitter to make us some assets for the stream. So
who's Kino Fabino?
He makes a ton of just like old 90s shooter memes. Look up his Twitter account if you could, because it's all pretty gold. He just posted an Eₜₕ.
How do you spell it?
Kino Fi.
Like that?
Yeah, that should be it. Oh boy. Yep. Okay. So if you scroll down a bit, you also like the Duke Nukem thing with Evangelion and his banner. If you go down enough, there should be like an Eₜₕ link, but he like just posts his own memes all the time. There's
awesome.
Yeah, you might want to. He likes to put a lot of butts in his stuff. So
hell yeah.
I don't know if that's a problem.
I love butts too. Oh, there's one.
There it is.
Such a great picture. That wasn't his, but...
It's a picture of Green Goblin, the shittiest dude in the world.
From Sam Raimi's Spider-Dash Man. The part where like Spider-Man's running through a carnival and Green Goblin's chasing him, and he's like squatted low on his gobbo glider.
It's just a straight ass shot.
See his little goblin butt?
2 ass shots.
Yeah, it's all about the ass
Spider-Man's just jogging away from him. I remember that shot. There's so many shots that are just super funky.
This movie sucks.
It kind of does.
This movie sucks.
It's charming.
It's a very Sam Raimi movie.
It's charming.
I still hold to the fact that I walked out of that movie the first time I saw it saying, this is a garbage film. Damn it. And everybody was like, it's so good! And I was like, this is terrible.
There we go. Here's the gallery of...
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, there's some butts.
Be real careful what you're looking at.
It's only butts. So, yeah, he does a lot... he does a lot of that kind of shit. Anyway, I have him making a stream flyer for us.
Awesome.
We've got a nice little scene where we'll have some mysterious figures that will be revealed and announced. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Oh yeah, March 19th. We rolled it back a day the streaming embargo was a day earlier than the release day. So.
But can you scroll up?
Yes. To what?
The underneath swimmers.
It's cool.
So I'm terrified of like the ocean and creatures. I actually on my birthday stream Subnautica Below Zero just to fuck with myself.
Yep.
And this is really empowering for me because this is what fish see when humans swim.
That's right.
And it's terrifying. I would be scared if I was a fish.
That's not terrifying.
Yes, it is.
Generally, fish travel in like not all fish, but a lot of fish travel in schools. So they travel in like thousands.
But when you look up and you're like, where'd the sun go? And you just see these like weird, gangly limbed things.
All right,
just
I'm not going to take away your power, Criken. Next time you're swimming, you go, I'll fuck you up, fish. You say that.
I don't want to talk in the water. I'm going to get water in my mouth.
Well, what a better way to demonstrate...
Whatever, I was trying to help out.
What if you're a fish and you're like, oh, those humans can't do anything. They can't breathe down here. And then you just turn over and open your mouth and swallow their habitat.
Yeah.
Oh. And then those fish are like, shit, they can do everything.
They're sucking it up.
Yeah. They're going to be terrified.
Also, I have some news about my stream. Bad news, good news. But it's big news.
Good news first.
We're going to change... Oh, you want the good news first? I don't know that I have the good news.
Are you going to get sponsored, dog? Did you get Key2 too?
I did not get
Key2 too.
Oh, I'm going to change my browser from Edge to Chromium Edge.
Chromium?
Wait, you weren't using Chromium Edge?
No, I'm using the stock internet like Edge browser that comes with Windows because everyone said it was good.
Yeah.
And it's not.
But
it turns out it's a garbage browser that's very slow and cannot handle any new pages that I want to go to. It's trash.
Okay.
So if anybody tells me the Internet Edge is good, I'm gonna slap them.
Yeah, Chromium that is. Though.
So I'm gonna upgrade slightly to Chromium Edge because I hear Chrome is bad. I hear Chrome is bad for security and like privacy and shit like that. I don't actually know that that's true, but I hear that.
I mean, I guess if you're logged in, I guess you're giving all your anonymized browsing data to Google. But Jesus Christ, try being on the internet and not giving all your data to somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess, technically if you used zero social networks and you paid for your own email hosting, which you can do, it's like $15 a year or something like that. You use like the client version of Outlook without logging in, or maybe your hosting's own email portal. This is all a dumb conversation and is going nowhere. Anyway,
you just live in the woods, and you just have to give up on the internet, and not because like remember Joel Rubin?
Oh yeah,
he would cover webcams only on specific computers, not all computers, but he would cover webcams with like tape.
Yeah,
and I always thought that was funny because I think he assumed that the NSA was spying on him, which is, by the way, possible. They can do that.
I like the implication that Joel's enough of an insurgent to be monitored. I mean, they probably have a file on him like they have on everybody, but
insurgent.
The thing is, here's the amazing thing, Bruce. We all of us, to some degree, have things that we do that we think get us above the game.
Absolutely.
And a lot of AI systems know that and will feed noise into your experience to make you think that you're smarter than it.
Oh, man.
So, like, I know that news recommendation engines and YouTube and stuff will occasionally throw in just a garbage video. So you think the algorithm doesn't have you down, but it absolutely does.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll put in noise on purpose to make it so you don't understand it just how understood you are. It's pretty amazing. So that Joel putting tape over the webcam thing, we all do it to a degree, and to some degree the systems that we all play in understand.
Yeah, I don't think that's that crazy. I know that people have done.
What do you do? I'm curious.
I don't do that, but
so you're you accept the fact.
I accept that it's probably
internet
a
owns
good
you.
idea. Yes. At this point, like, I've walked naked in front of my inactive webcam, and I've just
Are
been
you
like,
kidding me?
I hope
That's
they can
all
see
I
me.
do.
Right.
That's literally all I do.
You only put on clothes when you go live, and sometimes you forget, and then you gotta delete that.
Whoa, shit.
Yeah.
Lawrence, what do you do?
To tell myself that I'm above the system?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of things that I do, because there aren't many that I do on the internet.
I definitely try to... This works against me a lot of the time. But if I ever see something that's remotely clickbaity, even if it's something that I'll know I'll like, I will think, oh, I don't want the algorithm to know that I like that. So I'll intentionally not click on things, even if my first impulse is to click on it, because I'm sometimes, like, contrarian even to myself. The thing is, the AI probably... Like, there's probably a million people that do exactly that for me. So, like, I'm sure the AI has subdivided me into a self-contradictory asshole that tries to outthink the system by clicking on things.
Yep.
They know what I'm going to do.
Whenever an app...
Thumb down everything I like. There it is, Mythic Dragon.
Nice.
That's how you beat it.
Well, what do you do with things you don't like?
I thumb it up.
You live in a bizarro world.
Can't get me, Google.
It is actually... sorry, Bruce.
Well, that's fine.
There are people who have conducted experiments where they like go on Facebook, start a new account, and then start liking everything they hate, just to see how different your experience can be, and it is wild, man. Like how completely different and also seemingly conclusive your feed becomes with all the news stories that it populates in there, and how it just starts tailoring to the worldview you tell it that you want is wild, man. It's crazy. And to think that everybody lives in that, which explains why when everybody talks to other people that have a different viewpoint, it feels even more foreign than usual because
you're in your own world.
Yeah, AI cultivates your worldview based on social networks, and well, for some people just go to work and they come home and they eat rice-a-roni and then they're done for the day. Which I don't know why rice-a-roni, but now I'm hungry. So yeah, it's interesting to see like people that have different curated experiences online and think that they through the internet have seen the totality of the human existence. Then they start smacking together. And then they're like, you have to be lying. Well, you have to be lying. How can these two things be true? Well, because AI chose what stories you saw today.
It turns out everybody has a different experience, whether or not it's on the internet or in real life. Everybody has it. That's just the way it goes.
So sorry, Bruce, you were about to say?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, every time I install a new app, and the app asks me if it wants, like, if it's like, hey, give me access to your camera, hey, give me access to your GPS, I'm always like, no. And I tap no. I always say no. And then
you may not.
When I try to use something in the app that needs GPS and it pops up and it's like, can we use GPS?
No.
I get offended. I literally look
said
up.
No. Google Maps wants to know where I am.
Well, Google Maps, I just give it to it and fuck it because I need to use Google Maps.
This man won't use Chrome because he doesn't want to give Google everything about him, but he'll use Google Maps because he doesn't care about giving his location. Okay.
No, I don't. It's cool when they send me the email. It's like, here are the places you've been. I'm like,
and
oh,
you
that's
smile?
right. Yeah.
Oh my god. It's the worst kind of person.
Yay! I have a friend.
I'm like, wow, cool. I was at that Mexican restaurant 3 times every week. You're right, Google.
There was actually a pretty cool, one of the more recent Android updates was policing apps that would track your location while the app wasn't active, which I thought was super cool and actually pretty frustrating that a bunch of apps that didn't even need location data, like suddenly I was getting security warnings of like, hey, this app is like accessing location data right now. And I'd be like, what the? Hey, I didn't say that. And what's weird too is like, I can feel myself getting old a little bit because on my PC, like I can look at the active processes. I know what's running most of the time. And especially I know when I install a program and then it starts weaseling into my process list, even though I deactivate it and I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you every time I boot now. But like with my phone, I'm not as savvy about knowing what's running at any given time, what's been like tombstoned or put to sleep, or what has permissions and how they access it or how often they do. I don't really know where those logs are. I think you have to dive into you have to turn on dev mode and like dive into the admin stuff.
In the settings, you can look at each app and it'll tell you what it uses.
Yeah, I'm more like, I want to know, like, I want to see like a resource monitor, what processes are running and where they're resident in the system and stuff like that. I'm sure that exists in Android. Also, I need to flash a tablet because I have a stupid Samsung tablet that won't keep playing GIFs eternally.
How old is the Samsung tablet?
Like 2 years.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's just a battery feature that So, oh boy, this is going to a weird place. But I made like a digital picture frame. I loaded a ton of like square GIFs onto a tablet and then mounted it inside of a picture frame, so that like they're just cool video game GIFs kind of playing all the time. And I had this old tablet the battery eventually flared out on because it was just plugged in all the time. So after a couple of years, so I bought this like refurbished Samsung tablet. But something about Samsung's distro of Android won't let a gallery app just run infinitely. After a week, it like stops it from going.
Probably
from
runs out of
shuffling.
memory or something. Or there's a memory leak.
Maybe.
That's probably what happened.
But if I just tap it and tell it to go again, then it'll go for another week. But I can't do that if it's inside a frame. It has to just go. So I don't know. I think there's
Lawrence lives a really hard life.
I do, man. Now I got to figure out how to flash stock Android to a tablet. I haven't done that before.
Have you ever done that before?
No.
What if I brick it?
It sounds like
a hard life.
What if I brick it? What if I brick it, Bruce?
Criken, what about what are things that you? How hard of a life do you lead?
Relative to everyone else in the world, not that hard.
Not that hard.
Nope.
No. It's the same with me. I get really lucky most of the days because I get to eat Chipotle. Also, I'm I'm genuinely worried about going to a lot of because I eat out every single meal, but because of coronavirus, like I never leave the house unless it's for food. And if somebody is preparing my food that has that virus, I'm fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so is everyone else in the town. So.
Yeah. But wouldn't I think if I get coronavirus, don't I get military quarantined?
Well,
I don't think they're going to leave me at home. I assume that they have, because I was reading that basically they quarantine you somewhere else.
Oh, I thought they just quarantined like cities, and then told you to stay at home.
Yeah,
I don't think
they're gonna streaming.
They're gonna put a guard outside your door.
Yeah, because I would say if I can keep streaming, whatever, I'll just keep streaming.
Well, you'll be sick. The concern is
everyone else that watches can catch it.
That's true. I mean, Bruce, the concern isn't that you will get sick or that you'll die. I mean, granted, that's a concern.
I'll get sick, but I won't die, probably.
The concern is more that, like, you get it at one Chipotle, and then you go to another Chipotle, because I know you like to rotate. And then when you go in there, then you become a vector and give it to more people. So it's really about...
Well, no, because I'm clean. So, like, I'm not going to put my hands all over everything at another or any Chipotle, for that matter. I mean, I haven't been touching anything there. So, like, I walk in, and I have my hands against my chest, like this, right? Normal, like
you walk in like this, just like every other kid.
Right, like a normal
person.
And
you say, thank you so much.
You don't put on your surgical gloves?
I would like one burrito. No.
I would like one burrito, please.
One burrito with white rice, black beans, chicken, etc.
And then some dude, and then he starts
he sneezes all over it. And then...
how do you get your money to them? And how do you
I throw the card at them. And I also...
But what if they have to catch with their hands?
Well, if they catch, so here's the thing: they catch with their hands. What I do is then I immediately
it's like a trout popping out of stream.
You call your bank and order a new card.
Yep, I call the bank. I order a new card. It comes in 3 to 5 days, so it's kind of hard to order.
You have to order enough food to last those 3 to 5 days. So you have 5-day-old Chipotle.
Yeah, it takes a while.
On the 5th day,
it takes a while. But once I get that new card, I can go right back to Chipotle, order 3 to 5 days worth of food,
and the cycle continues.
Yep.
What is it?
The bank is running out of cards to send you.
There was some delivery service that added an option to just leave the food like at your door, so you don't have to even be in contact with the delivery man.
Postmates.
Oh, it's Postmates.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah!
I have used that.
But the thing is that
it's happening, you guys. It's happening.
Postmates, I think, complicates the whole thing.
Why?
Because there's more people involved.
But you don't.
The less people involved, the better, right? Because then you have food prep at Chipotle, but then I'll just take it directly from the person. Also, I can verify with my eyes whether or not they're sick.
But
I can be like,
you can see the virus. If there's a stink cloud around them, like, hey, wait a minute. I see that cloud.
But if the food is wrapped and contained and then put in a bag and then given to someone else,
they could still sneeze on the wrapping that you touch.
That'd be really mean.
But they could.
You're right.
Why you open the door in a hazmat suit and a pair of tongs.
I mean, I've been throwing, like, at this point, the way I get my food is, let's say I get Panda Express in a box. I open up the box. I get all of my stuff ready. I don't touch it with my hands.
Panda Express.
Just put your hands
what's wrong with Panda
and then just
Express?
lower your face to the food.
What, are you judging what I eat on a daily basis?
I couldn't keep it in. I'm sorry.
Wow.
You can get healthy things at Panda Express.
Like what?
Orange super greens, no. Broccoli and kale, which is what I eat every time I go.
Okay.
Steamed rice, totally fine.
Yep.
Teriyaki chicken, which is just grilled chicken.
Just grilled chicken?
That's all.
Okay.
That's it.
That's lean.
And there's also string bean chicken, which is grilled chicken with some string beans.
That's vegetables, Craig.
You guys getting really defensive.
It's fiber.
Expressing my opinion.
It's fiber.
Apparently, there's no wrong opinions, right? The earlier conversation.
Look at Bruce. He's a picture of health right
I don't eat that orange chicken at all. Okay. All right? Unless I really want it.
Yeah.
And I might get it once a month or so. Anyway.
And that's fried. That's fried. That's got to kill all the germs.
That's got to kill all the germs, right? That's got to kill them all. Except for the germs that, by the way, come when you cook something too hard. Too much. So if you burn something, there are different germs that you can get food poisoning from.
Heat-resistant germs versus ice-resistant germs.
This is like you're playing Zelda.
Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't touch anything. I wash my hands.
Oh, damn, my policy of burning everything to black.
I wash my hands. I've been using my own forks here. And I use my own fork.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I eat only the inside of the box. Never touch the box. Finish the food.
Never touch the box?
Never. Once I've finished the food, then I put all the stuff into a trash bag because I'm going to throw it away. But after that, I'm done, right? So I put it all in, throw it away. Then I go wash my hands again.
Start burning your trash?
I haven't started burning my trash
yet. You got to do that.
I think that
throw that styrofoam
might
in
be
there.
Illegal here.
No, I mean they're not going to know. Seal up all your windows. Just make a little fire pit in the middle of your room. You got to pull up the carpet first. That's the important thing. That's what I got stuck on.
Why don't I just get a barrel and be a homeless person?
I mean, Bruce, if you can afford a barrel in these trying times, good luck. You see how people are getting about toilet paper? What, you think they're not having a run on barrels for barrel fires? See, there's that video again.
Yeah, I know.
Man, and like, I saw it about a week ago and somebody was like, oh man, somebody stole my video. Because like the dude was posting like all these people ripped it off of TikTok or whatever. Oh. And now everyone is jacking it for everything.
Yeah. Also, if you wear gloves, you have to replace the gloves over and over. Mm-hmm. If you're, like, I saw this was disgusting, by the way. I saw this at a doctor's office because I was just at a doctor. Some lady was using a paper towel to like press elevator buttons and shit, but she had it in her hand and it was all crumpled up.
Oh, so it
didn't make any difference. Yeah, I was like, and if you're using it for everything, those germs are all over your hands. Why would you use a paper towel? Just use your fucking hands.
Yeah. Just wash your hands, please.
Just wash your hands.
I am glad at least this whole condition. There are not many things to be glad about, and I don't want to make it sound like I am, but I am glad at least it's elevated the discussion of just general cleanliness and hygiene in society.
That's true. Yeah.
Damn, man, when you're in like a movie theater or whatever and you're sitting there peeing like a normal civilized person and you hear that stall doors slam open and then footsteps just go right out outside.
Yep.
I've always wished I could have like a little dart gun.
Shoot him.
Yeah, just like and then like a little flag comes off that just says like
degenerate.
Yeah, basically.
And the degenerate police come and they take him away and they say, Did you wash your hands?
What's happened to your voice?
I don't know, it ran out.
Oh, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Ran out.
I guess that's the end of the podcast.
I guess so.
Criken's voice has run out.
I have to record some audio lines today. I'm going to go home.
Well, save it up.
By the way, does either of you guys have coronavirus?
Bruce, look at me. Do I look like I have coronavirus?
No, you don't. You look healthy.
I look great.
The picture of health.
Never been better. No, I'm good, man.
All right.
Although
you're in my house,
I'm going to be doing.
I might have coronavirus.
Oh, I've spent on
everything about that.
Well, isn't it like it hides for about a week?
It does.
That's what I've heard.
It's like 5 days of no symptoms.
This is what's really scary. So 5 days from now, I guess we'll find out. Tomorrow, I'm going to be destroying my immune system. I got to 1 million views on Twitch, so I'm going to do a 24-hour stream.
Congrats.
Oh, wow, 24 hours.
Yeah.
What are you going to stream?
Good luck.
Dark Souls.
Wait, hold on.
Control.
Just a little bit of throwing a wrench in your plan.
What?
That is going to be hard on your immune system to go 24 hours without sleep and streaming the entire time.
So what?
Take care of your body first. I think you should just break it down into 2 12s.
No.
Just I have done several 24-hour streams, they are rough.
Whatever. Audience, do you want 24 hours of Dark Souls? Do you want to
kill him?
I'm not going to.
I think they do.
I've stayed up 24 hours plenty of times. I've got this new sponsor.
Yes. I see some yeses in there.
I see all yes.
No, take a break.
They're just joking.
Chain yourself to the desk. Stream till you die.
There, thank you. I will. When have I ever done anything?
That'll get you banned. All right, I know.
What?
If you stream till you die.
If you stream till you die, you will get banned.
Well, who cares? I'll be dead. And I already have my will filled out. Stephanie's going to get my Twitch millions, so it's all right.
You'll go down in Twitch history as.
Yeah. Yes. So
bad.
Also, I got to set it up first. I'm probably going to test it out later tonight. So.
Well, in honor of Lawrence streaming 24 hours.
You're going to stream 24 hours?
I am going to stream the normal 3 to 4.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
And then maybe 3 in the evening.
I approve.
But it'll be pretty normal. Mm-hmm. But that's in honor of the 24-hour stream, Lawrence.
That's very brave. Very brave.
When do you start?
Probably around noon to noon. That's what I'm thinking.
Nice.
Which is a bummer. I started doing Media Share is so fun. I don't know why it took me so long.
It's the best.
I had to find some kind of alliterative title, and you have Media Share Monday, which is perfect.
I got lucky on that. Somebody else named it that.
Yeah. So I was like, there was only one day that I didn't have other stuff on, so it's You Play Thursday.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right.
What?
It makes sense. It's branding,
You
dude.
play.
You play Thursday.
Oh, it
They
rhymes.
play.
Okay.
I had to look up a rhyming dictionary.
Yeah.
Play day. Yeah, come on.
You play Thursday. It's
Exactly.
To say it with your voice cracking.
Rolls off the tongue. You don't have enough mods for 24-hour stream? I'm the mod. I'm a mod.
That's right. He is.
I'm
He
the
is
one
a
who
mod.
matters. Shut up. I'll tab out and ban anybody.
This is what this 24-hour stream is going to be like. That's
Yeah.
a sneak preview.
I can't wait.
You yelling at the chat.
I can't wait.
What
Dark
about you? Are you going
Souls.
to do a 24-hour stream?
I have done one.
No, I know you have, but
Yeah.
I was there for it. But I wasn't there, but I donated to it.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah, whatever. Are you going to do another one?
Whatever. Probably. Oh, I was going to do one for Bannerlord's release at the end of March.
For what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, March
Oh, man.
31st. I was going to do one when Bannerlord launches.
No Animal Crossing dog.
Yeah, what are you, Bannerlord?
I'll be playing Animal Crossing 2, but
Fuck yeah.
24 hours for Bannerlord. That's
is it called?
it's Mountain Blade.
Bannerlord?
Mountain Blade.
Oh, okay.
Dose.
Warband came out like fucking 15 years ago or some shit, and then they finally early access launch of their new title, Mountain Blade Bannerlord, comes out after a crazy development cycle. I've literally seen it at E3 like 4 years in a row.
Yeah,
and
it's
each year
been
it's
one of
like
the
it's
longest
done,
games,
and
right?
then it wasn't done. So now it's finally going out to early access, and I'm going to be freaking marathoning that.
24-hour stream in it.
Yep.
I'll announce
that-
my 24-hour stream. It is a 24-hour stream to reach my penis with my mouth.
Oh.
You really just
Do
took
you
a
think?
I took it from Spicy Whales.
Yeah, did you only read the first part and you're like, I'm gonna see where it goes?
Yeah.
It's kind of sound like that.
Yeah.
Do you think if you right now, Bruce, because like if you stretch, like even in a given stretching session, you can kind of limber up a little bit
little
and
bit.
stretch further and further.
You can only get a few inches, though.
Do you? Well, maybe that's all you need. Do you think that if you did actually try to sit in that position for 24 hours and let your body really relax and sink into it, you could eventually reach your dick tip? Do you think?
That's the end of the podcast, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Wait, what's the Talk to the Internet challenge this week?
Reach your penis with your mouth.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's one of those things where, like, you could do it for academic reasons, but then if you can do it, then it just bites off a whole new slew of questions.
I don't think bites off is the right term.
Hello.
Like, is this my lifestyle now?
That's the end of the stream.
Do I just sit here and do this all day now?
I'll see you guys in 20 minutes. Or, yeah, about 20 minutes. I'll be back, yep. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to play Warzone or not, because I like Warzone a lot.
Oh yeah?
It was fun.
Give it a shot.
But I was getting bullied by chat last night because I didn't have a win.
Oh.
I only played the game
Chat
for like
lay off of
3
him.
to 4 hours.
He's trying.
I'm not fucking Shroud, boys. I wish I
Chat.
was. I wish I was, guys.
Lay off of
Oh,
him.
what if you don't have a penis? Damn, that's a good question.
I didn't think about that. Try and reach your other genitals.
Oh, that's
Others.
harder. That's not fair.
It is harder.
That means ladies are at a distinct disadvantage.
Aren't they more flexible by default though?
They are. Generally, they are. All right, that's the end of the stream. You can press record over there. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.